Welcome, everyone. We're just starting the webinar, but we will get started in just a few minutes. Welcome, everyone. We'll be getting started in just a few minutes. Welcome to the Mindfulness, Resilience, and Social Justice talk. We are going to be allowing others to join here for the next few minutes, and we'll get started shortly. For any new participants who have joined, welcome to the Mindfulness, Resilience, and Social Justice talk. And we will get started in just a few minutes and just allowing others to join. In the meantime, if you'd like to join me, I'm just going to invite you and I will join you in just bringing your awareness down into your body. So maybe sensing into your feet, where your feet make contact with the floor or your bottom in the chair. Or maybe just sensing into your breath, either at the tip of the nose or your chest or your belly. So welcome. We'll get started shortly. I'm inviting folks to just draw awareness to your breath, either at the tip of the nose or your chest or your belly, just sensing into the breath just as it is, not needing to alter it in any way. Just dropping in, sensing in. And the only moment in which we ever have to perceive and to be aware and to learn and to grow is this moment. And so we are, with our mindfulness practice, learning to dwell more in this domain of being, out of our usual mode of doing. Maybe even just taking a moment to acknowledge all that's unfolded in the day for you already, in this day so far, as we live out our very complex lives. So just acknowledging that, it's an invitation. And we'll get started in just a couple minutes. And just dropping in, maybe sensing into the breath or your body. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Mindfulness, Resilience, and Social Justice talk. My name is Rochelle McLaughlin, and it's an honor to be here with you all. I am trained through the UMass Medical School Center for Mindfulness through mindfulness-based stress reduction. And I've taught MBSR at San Jose State University and in all kinds of other places and locations, including Stanford, the Bay Area Pain and Wellness Center, and also for Elevate Your Health, the UK and Europe. and the National Center for Equine Facilitated Therapy locally. I'm the founding director of San Jose State University's Certificate in Applied Mindfulness. And so I've had this extraordinary opportunity to bring mindfulness to several hundred folks in academia, healthcare, and also with social justice pedagogy, both nationally and internationally, which has allowed me to witness the impact of stress and systemic injustices on people's lives, and how mindfulness is an essential antidote, really, to these dynamics. And my work is trauma and culture sensitive, and it embodies the transformative power of mindfulness and the present moment, which is ultimately the only moment in which we ever have to live, to learn, to grow, and to perceive. And mindfulness, I've recognized, is an essential resource for justice. It helps us learn to honor our own feelings, find a sense of groundedness amidst the complex terrain of inequity, and to develop healthy boundaries and meaningful practices for self-care, such that we are able to stay at the table to do the necessary work that's being called for. And so I hope to touch on that in the next few minutes together, and also provide some resources to take with you, since we just have a few minutes together. So if I may just define mindfulness first off, which is the practice of bringing our awareness into the present moment and in a non-judgmental way, which is this has some specific qualities of attention, which is self-compassion, openness, curiosity, and also a very specific practice of dwelling, building our capacity to dwell more in the present moment. And that can include difficulties and challenges and things that maybe we may feel and experience as challenging and difficult, but it can also include our delights and joys and uplifts. And so it's all here. And in our mindfulness practices, as a part of our work, is in building our capacity to dwell more in this moment. And that includes the full range of our human experience. So there are three foundations of mindfulness, and that's a level of intention. So there's an intentionality. So even as I'm talking about being intentional about being present, so I might, and again, it's with a gentleness. So that's the one of the three. So we've got the intentionality, and then there's specific attitudes, and there's this attitudes of gentleness. So as we're drawing our awareness down, for example, into the body, if I may invite you to draw your awareness down and maybe into your feet or into the bottom, your bottom, as it makes contact with the chair that you're sitting on. If you are sitting, you might even sense into like the sense of uplift with your spine and raising up towards the sky. Or we might be able to become aware of the sensation of the breath. So our body only ever exists in the present moment, and we have access to it, and it helps to anchor our awareness into the present moment. So just becoming aware of the sensations. So this is a particular kind of intention. So there's that intentionality. And then there is a level of attention. There's a specific level of attention where we're drawing our awareness into this moment. It can include that full range of human experience, which may feel really difficult in some cases. It may feel delightful in some cases. Particularly today, we're speaking, talking about the experience of micro and or macro aggressions, which would, could feel really, really difficult. So this is our work with mindfulness, is actually turning towards the actuality of things as they are. And so if I may, I do have a word cloud that I'd love to offer for you to participate in with us now, like real time. So the question is, how do you feel when you experience micro or macro aggressions. And so you could have, for example, feeling frustration. I believe there might be a link. Let's just see. Yeah, here we go. Okay. I just started seeing some. So here are some of the feelings that we might feel, and these are just some. So yes, there's the link. Thank you so much, Beverly. If everyone wants to click on the link and participate in the word cloud, and as everybody's inputting how they might feel when they experience or when you experience aggressions, microaggressions, macroaggressions, it's helpful for us to recognize that we're not alone. And there's a whole range of experiences that we might have. And so there's disgust, heartache, frustration, upset, outcast, anger, angry, have a pit in the stomach. You might experience tension. You want to yell. Let's see if I'm missing anything. Power dynamics, you can feel that, right? You can feel power dynamics in your body. Sense of disconnection, you might feel unsure, ugh, bad, anxious, overwhelmed. And so some of the bigger ones we're seeing are anger and upset and frustration. So with mindfulness, we are being given an opportunity to actually turn towards these feelings and also use our mindfulness as a way to ground ourselves, even in the midst of the storm of these kinds of feelings. And so thank you all so much for your ongoing participation. And so even just as I'm reading them, I'm actually feeling some of it, right? I'm feeling tension. I feel a bit of a pit in my stomach. I see rage has been added, heartbroken. And so thank you all so much for your participation with these. So, you know, part of our practice with mindfulness is turning towards these feelings and coming to terms with the actuality of what's unfolding. And that, of course, can be uncomfortable. And so it's about also using our practice with mindfulness to help us ground ourselves in the present moment. So even right now, as we're reading these, you know, feeling your feet on the floor, again, your bottom in the chair, expanding your awareness to hold the whole of your body while you're sitting here. And then as you do, I invite you to see if you notice any unnecessary tension or tightness anywhere, and seeing if you can allow those areas to release and relax. And if not, that's okay too, just letting those sensations go wherever they need to go. But a part of our practice is also recognizing that maybe we have, you know, there's a physical manifestation when we are experiencing aggressions, and that we do have some ways of coping. And so that's our next question, actually, our next word cloud, and that we will share with you, which is what positive coping strategies do you use to take care of yourself or to help yourself? And of course, mindfulness is and can be, if we have it on board, it can be a powerful resource. And that's why that's why I'm here to share this for you. So someone mentioned yoga, absolutely. There's an amazing book, which I will share in the resources in just a few minutes, by Susanna Barkataki, called Embracing Yoga's Roots. And it's an incredible book to get us to more of the depth of what yoga can bring for us. And then going outside, crying, venting, walking in nature, napping, tennis, running. So intentional breathing. So even as I'm talking right now, I invite you to bring awareness to your breath, either at the tip of the nose or your chest or your belly. And so I just want to make, you know, just to confirm that what we're working with in mindfulness is acknowledging our feelings, honoring it. So even if it's uncomfortable, and so we're building our capacity to be with the full range of our human experience, and that can include all of it. And also knowing that we do have resources that we can all really engage in particular when things are really difficult and challenging. And that is ultimately a practice of self-care and self-compassion. And these are all parts of mindfulness. And as John Kabat-Zinn in his work with MBSR, one of the themes of actually week 1 of the 8-week curriculum is about pouring energy and attention into what is right. And so all of these resources are what can help us ultimately stay at the table or return to the table when we are able to, and knowing when maybe we need to step away from the table and engage in really almost like a radical self-care. And so you've all done beautifully. Thank you so much for participating. Good music, stretching, listening to music, classical music, skincare, guided meditation, talking to good friends, positive affirmations, healthy eating, acknowledging my feelings, Netflix binging, feeling compassion. So I'd love to share too that, sometimes, like I said, we need to step away at the table. We need those resources, like might be watching our favorite show, where it really can help us create some space between what might be unfolding and what's really difficult. And so we can even mindfully, so to speak, kind of numb out, and that's totally fine too. Sometimes we absolutely need to do that. So I love napping is a big one. So it's beautiful that we're taking good care of ourselves in all the different ways. And I hope that this has helped to make that connection with mindfulness, that yes, it's about honoring, what's happening for us in the given moment, and that may not be pleasant. And at the same time, mindfulness can be a resource for us. And so I'd love to share my own screen. I think if we're finished with that, thank you so much, Beverly, for your help with that. So we're going to provide a copy of this, so you'll have access to this document. It's by Elizabeth Lynn. She's an MD and MPH, and her email is there. And so it's called Coping with Change, Reacting versus Responding. And I just wanted to highlight just for a moment that when you have mindfulness on board, so we're going to focus on the blue side for just a moment. And so that we have an opportunity to actually access this space between the stimulus and our response. So you could consider it like a mini pause, which is talked about by Rhonda McGee in her book, The Inner Work of Racial Justice, where she talks about mini pauses as a really powerful practice of mindfulness to integrate into social justice work. And so we do a mindful appraisal, noticing body sensations, thoughts, and emotions, and all of that can evoke the parasympathetic nervous system response. And then so the stress response maybe is not as heightened as when we don't have mindfulness on board. And then we have greater access to hormones other than cortisol. So oxytocin is considered like the tend and befriend nervous system response. And then it can lead to more adaptive and healthy coping strategies, like seeing new possibilities, more robust immune system, mental and physical health, these kinds of things. So yes, we will be sending this out. And let's see. And I do want to add some resources for us as well, and also give us a chance. Yes, let me put the book in the chat. I actually have a few of them. So let me add those here. And that includes the Susanna Barkataki's book, as well as Rhonda McGee. And then I also wanted to offer the few app recommendations. Technology can certainly help us. One is called Insight Timer. And there's Calm, Open App, and Headspace. And there are different mindfulness meditations. I recommend you participate in some formal. And then as far as informal mindfulness, it would be just integrating those mini pauses. So maybe feeling your feet on the floor, feeling the sensation of your breath, maybe noticing sounds in your environment. So even right now, I'll guide us through a brief practice as we finish up for our times. I believe we're finishing at 10:30, which is right now. So maybe just become aware of the sensation of your breath for a few moments, either at the tip of the nose or your chest or your belly, and just sensing in. Okay, no rush. Okay. And so, and then one other really powerful practice is when you notice, if you're sensing into the whole body, if you notice tension, that when you release the tension, when you are able to, of course, that it actually evokes the parasympathetic nervous system response, which is that tend and befriend nervous system response, which is a deep well and a resource for us to, you know, regulate our own nervous system and tap into the, our capacity to have greater degrees of equanimity, and again, that open-mindedness, a sense of groundedness, and yet still honoring and acknowledging our feelings. So I think that might be it. I don't want to make you late for your next sessions, but I want to thank you all so much it's just an honor to be here with you all. And thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. Take good care, everyone. You can reach out if you have any questions, and we'll have all the handout and the resources there for you.